Alright, now the story for the Gunstringer. The story for the Gunstringer follows a undead puppet cowboy who out of nowhere resurrects from the grave and pretty much wants to get revenge for his own death by going around and killing his old gang members that used to be with him that betrayed him out of nowhere. That's really the story of the game. Okay? I'm going to say this. The story in this game is insane, surreal, weird, but extremely entertaining, very, very funny, and just charming as hell. Twisted Pixel made this game, and of course they made Splosion Man, Miss Splosion Man, Comic Jumper, The Maw, and those were all arcade games. This is their first retail game, and I gotta say, it's hilarious. It really is. It's very entertaining, very funny. The story is insane, but I love it all to death. It really is. Very, very entertaining story. So anyway, let's go on to the sound. Alright, now the sound in this game. Sadly, there's not many voiceovers in the game. There's only really one, which includes the narrator, which he's very funny. He has that old Western kind of accent that he talks like this, but he says funny things, so it's kind of weird. But that's really it. That's the only voiceover you get, besides maybe some commentaries that you can actually unlock, which includes people like Rooster Teeth, which is really cool. But for the most part, that's the only voice actor. The sound design is also good, nothing really to write home about. And the soundtrack is actually really, really good in here. It's a very western-y kind of soundtrack. It's very catchy, and that last song at the end is very, very good. So, I'll say this. Soundtrack is really good, and the voice acting, what there is of voice acting, is really good. Sound design's okay, so whatever. Sound is really good. Let's go on to the graphics. Alright, now the graphics for the Gunstringer. The graphics for the Gunstringer, I will not say are the best graphics out there, but I will say this. The graphics in the game look very, very vibrant, very colorful, and just very nice to look at. But there is some problems with the graphics. But let's talk about the good of the graphics. The good of the graphics, I would say the character models. The character models are very, very animated, very colorful, and nice looking. Definitely the Gunstringer himself. He's a very, very unique looking guy. And I do like some of the stuff they do where they actually take some of the stuff into live action. So you'll be playing the game, but there's a live action audience in the background, which is another thing I forgot to explain. This whole game is actually a play in front of an audience. So that's even more surreal. I forgot to mention that. But, I like some of that stuff. That's really cool how they implemented a game into a live action setting. But there is some problems. Some of the textures look very, very bland. Some of the cutscenes, you definitely notice them. But for the most part, the game looks really, really good. So anyway, let's go on to the gameplay. Alright, now the gameplay for the Gunstringer. Of course, this game is a Kinect-enabled game, so that means you'll actually be using your body to play this game. But in this game, you can actually pretty much sit down and play it because you don't need to use your legs. You can only use your arms in this game, both arms. And the way this game is played is that you move your character left and right with your left arm. And because the game is on rails, you don't actually move forward or back. You just move left or right. And you use your right hand to pretty much target enemies or target stuff in the environment. Target that, wave your hand around it, and then pretty much move your arm really fast up right and pretty much shoot all the targets. And I gotta say, it's extremely entertaining, and it actually adds a lot of variety into the game, which is very surprising. You'd think this game would just be, just run around and shoot. It adds a bunch of different things. Like sometimes the screen will turn and now it's like a side scroller, and now you have to pretty much jump with your left arm by just moving your left arm really fast up, which I forgot to mention, and pretty much jump over obstacles. Sometimes it'll turn into a dual shooter, so now you have two guns to shoot with. Sometimes you'll get a shotgun or a flamethrower or a ninja sword. Sometimes you'll actually fight people punch-out style, and it adds a lot of variety. It definitely does, and it would have definitely taken points away from the game, even if it was fun, if it was just you running around shooting stuff. And, I mean, it still does that, but it does it in different ways that make it very, very entertaining. Now, even though the game is a lot of fun, there is a couple problems. One, the game is extremely short. It's only about 3 to 3.5 hours long. So for the people out there that have $40 and wanted to buy this game but want it to be long, it's not long, it's very, very short. But it's pretty replayable, so if you like replayable games, get more points to buy more stuff in the little store that it gives you, to buy like concept art and things, then if you're a completionist, this game will give you a lot of stuff to do. Another problem is the jump controls. The jump controls are very sensitive in this game, and sometimes when I was moving, just trying to move left or right, it would say, oh, you're jumping? I'm jumping now. I'm like, oh, no, I didn't want you to jump. Now you crashed into something. Now you lost health. So that's a problem, but I did look over that because I got used to it. Anyway, there's my review for the Gunstringer. Those are a couple problems that I say for it, but for the most part, the game is very, very fun. I definitely recommend purchasing it, at least when it's like $30. So you'll get this game for $30, and you'll also get Fruit Ninja Connect, which also comes with the game, which is another great game. So anyway, there's my review for the Gunstringer. Hope you liked it. There you go. Thank you, and goodbye.